Good morning, Wayne. And good morning, Keyshawn. And good morning, Paul Pierce. So, Paul, you were not with us on Friday when we first discussed this NBA Finals matchup. So it is now your turn. You're on the hot seat. Could you please tell us exactly how many games your Celtics will win the finals in and why?
I got the Celtics in 6, Skip.
I thought maybe you'd go 4.
No, I got respect for Dallas and, Luka and Kyrie. They're pretty good. They're actually pretty good.
They're pretty good, yep.
But I just think the reason that the Celtics will win the NBA Finals, when you look at the heartaches that they've been through, I mean, they've been through the pain, they've been through the struggle. They have the experience. I think they understand the moment a little more than Dallas, being that this group has been there as a core. Holiday has won a championship, so that's awesome to have him in the locker room. Brown and Tatum have been to the finals. They understand the moment, and they understand that this now or never, because you can't guarantee yourself getting back to it. You can hear it in their interviews. They're like, we're fortunate to be back here. I played in 1-2 finals. You never know what's going to happen. Injuries, anything can happen. But the reason why is because Dallas, as great as they are, the role players are great. I just think we're the deeper team. I think Dallas's 2 superstars have to play great every single night for them to win. On the flip side, there's times when Jayson Tatum hasn't played well. There's times Brown hasn't played well. They still know how to win. When you got guys like Drew Holiday, Derek White, who could be good enough to win Finals MVP, I can't say that on the other side for Dallas. It's going to be Luka if they win. It's going to be Kyrie. It's going to be one of the two. There's been times Derek White has been our best player in the series. There's been times Drew Holiday has been the best player on the floor. So when I look at top to bottom, I just feel like the Celtics are a little bit deeper and that Dallas doesn't have a lot of room for mistakes, because if Dallas isn't at their best, I'm not sure they can beat Boston. If Luka's not at his best, along with Kyrie, it'll be a long night for him. So especially with Porzingis, hopefully he's healthy with the versatility that Boston presents on defense that Dallas has not had to see throughout the playoffs. A team that can switch 1 through 5 and be effective on Luka and Kyrie. Now, I'm not saying they're going to stop them, but I think just scheming against these two, we have the versatility to do it. And in the end, the experience that we had in that Indiana series. Now, you say we didn't play anybody, Skip. Can y'all say we didn't play anybody? We dealt with injuries in every single round. I get it. But we've been in situations versus Indiana especially to where we've been down, and we figured out a way to win close games. So they've shown me they check all the boxes I say a championship team needs to have. They showed me grit. They showed me toughness. They've shown me that they can come back in a close situation. And these are things that you look at when you get into a championship series. And so in saying that, I'm close to saying Celtics is 5, but I'm going to say Celtics is 6.
Go ahead and just go 5.
No, we say 6.
Go with your heart.
No. Celtics in 6.
Go with your instinct.
We saying Celtics in 6.
Yeah, 6 is a fair number.
Yeah.
I want to see them obviously play Thursday night, and depending on how they play, it can move to 7 or 5. Just depends on what comes about it, Skip. But when you talk about the depth, I'm only talking 6, 7 deep. They just feel like matchup to matchup. Huh?
Who's your 7th? I want to know.
Boston or
Boston.
On Boston.
You
Come on.
You still got
man.
a little Peyton Pritchard running around that's going to give you.
Pritchard running around?
He's going to
With his
give
head
you,
cut off?
with his little 11 minutes, he's going to give you some hustle.
Wow.
He's going to give you some T.J. McConnell type hustle.
Okay.
But when you factor in Porzingis plus Al Horford plus Tatum and plus Brown and plus Drew Holiday. I mean, it's just a lot.
Are we sure Porzingis is going to be?
By all accounts, by the reports,
yes,
he's looking good right now to play in game 1.
Yeah, that's so. Even if he
last,
even if he didn't play in game 1, Skip, Even if he didn't play in game one, he'll be back at some point in this series.
Oh.
So when you look at it, since this has come up, I've canceled out Luka and I've canceled out Kyrie with Tatum and Brown. Just cancel that out. Now you start talking about, okay, what are the X factors in Derek White? Who matches up with that as an X factor for the Dallas Mavericks? Or who matches up as an X factor for Drew Holiday? Or who matches up from an X factor standpoint if Porzingis plays and Al Horford? So when you start looking at it, you say, well, they can stick the little young kid Derek Lively in there. He's got too much explosiveness for an Al Horford type. Well, yeah, he's more athletic than Al, but Al's smarter than him. So Al knows how to play the game a little bit different than a young guy who's a rim protector, a lob guy on the pick and roll.
About 6'9", maybe?
Yeah, but it's not like you're going to Lively in an isolation situation.
Exactly.
He's a lob threat.
A lob threat.
And a pick and roll threat in their system.
So much like Paul's saying, if you got to have both for Luka and Kyrie play extremely well for them to beat the Celtics. Now, here's what I would say. The Celtics can be beat at home. It's well documented they've struggled at home throughout the playoffs over the last couple of years. Can they drop one to Dallas at home? Yeah, they can. And that may be one of the two in game that pushes it to game 6. It could be one of the two. But I don't think that they're going to wind up losing 2 games at home and getting swept and all that sort of stuff. No, I don't think that at all. And I just like the fact that they've been in these situations, meaning the championship, the final. They've been there. They you go through heartache and pain. This is not the Buffalo Bills, so to speak. They could wind up being the Buffalo Bills if they get there again and just keep losing. You can start to look at that way, but they've been there, they lost, they know that pain. They watched the confetti against Golden State drop on the floor, and they wasn't a part of that celebration. They've been to the championship in the Eastern Conference multiple times. So Drew Holiday's won a championship. I know Kyrie, on the other hand, has won, but those guys have been and lost. Kyrie's the only guy that's been and lost when you start looking at the players for the Dallas Mavericks. But I certainly got the Celtics in 6, Skip.
Okay, it is my turn. I'm going to start with the Celtics are deeper. I heard this on Friday. I can't even fathom how either of you could make a point that the Celtics are deeper, because I'm looking at Dallas's bench. Derek Lively comes off the bench.
Yeah.
And Josh Green comes off the bench. And every time I see Jaden Hardy play, I say, he's starting to remind me of Vinny the Microwave Johnson, because he comes in and just lights it up. And he is fearless, and he just comes in making shots and making shots.
Made 1 or 2 shots, Skip. Don't put Microwave in there. Microwave be about 15.
And Maxi Kleber has been there and done all that, and he's back, and he seems like he's healthy.
What has Kleber done? And been where?
Okay, but he's been there for a long time.
He's made 5 minutes last game.
He's made a bunch of big 3-point shots for them in his time.
No.
Okay, and Dante Exum comes in and just plays basketball at a high, hard level. And there's this kid named Tim Hardaway Jr., and I don't know what's happened to him, but he is definitely a microwave.
He can't see the floor.
He hasn't seen the floor for a while, but I just have a sneaking suspicion he's going to see it against you guys, because he is a big game, big play shooter.
The last 2 guys, if you put them in the game, they either up 20 or down 20.
Okay, and you guys got Hauser and Pritchard, and maybe Porzingis pushing Horford off.
Solid.
The bench.
They've been solid.
Solid.
We got
solid
2 flamethrowers coming off the bench that you got to respect.
You think they're going to throw flames in this series? I don't.
Flamethrowers.
I don't.
Come on now.
But even if they didn't go as deep, and let's say they stayed at 6.
7?
That 6 is stronger. Let's just say they stayed at 6. That 6 is stronger than your 8.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
How could it not be?
Because for most of this series, the 2 best players, not the 1 best, the 2 best players on this floor will be Luka and Kyrie. The 2 best.
I'm not willing to say that. Like I told you on Friday. I'm not willing to just say that. You get caught in prison in a moment.
Yeah.
I get Luka. What he's done is nothing short of incredible. But
what did you tell me about Luka when you got to see him up close and personal?
No, absolutely.
At Boston.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Luka is everything as advertised.
Okay.
He arguably the best player in the league. But we know Kyrie has had his ebbs and flows in this playoffs now. Don't act like we forget them games where he shot 3 or 4 times and only averaged 6 points in the first half of like 5 straight games.
I just watched Kyrie.
Like if he do that same thing versus Boston, it's going to be a short series.
Okay, I just watched Kyrie Irving in the conference finals average 27 points on 38% three-point shooting. And for the whole playoffs, he's 42% three-point shooting.
All right, now tell me what you got for Jayson Tatum and Brown. I just saw Jayson Tatum and Brown both average 30 for the conference finals, with Brown shooting 50% plus from the field and around 40 from 3.
Was Jimmy Butler there? I don't remember.
No, I didn't.
Conference final.
Jimmy Butler was on.
Oh, you're talking about just the conference finals?
Just the conference finals.
Was Halliburton there for the last 2 games?
I mean, it wouldn't matter.
Remember. It wouldn't matter. Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
All right.
Nope.
So I've got a strength against your weakness because Luka is unbelievably good on the road. And I know you know this because he is nothing but the coldest-blooded killer I've ever seen. Basketball killer. He's got some Jordan-esque in him. If we want to go Jordan-esque, let's go Luka on the road.
Right,
because
I agree.
He loves to shut down and shut up road crowds. And you should caution your Boston fans. You better lay off Luka.
This is what you got to take into account this series, Skip and Key. Listen, Luka didn't have to guard. He didn't guard Anthony Edwards. He's going to have to guard one of Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, White, Drew Holiday. Now, in the last series versus Minnesota, you called him on. He was guarding Rudy Gobert sometime. They was like, we don't even have to double when they switch Rudy Gobert and Dončić. Let Rudy Gobert go one-on-one with him. He can't do that with Porzingis or Al Horford.
Okay.
So we'll let, we'll put Luka on McDaniels because all he going to do is stand in that corner over there so Luka can just kind of rest.
Okay.
We'll put Luka on James Jones Jr. because all he going to do is stand in that corner and watch the Luka Kyrie show.
Okay.
So, I mean, James Jones. No, he not James Jones. He had to guard McDaniels, Alexander. Who else? I'm saying Luka. On the other end, he didn't have to guard Edwards, is what I'm saying. He had to guard. He guarded all these other guys that just stood in the corner.
Nas Reed.
Jay McDowell's, Nas Reed. These guys that just stood in the corner. They put no pressure on them. He's gonna have to guard Jaylen Brown. He's gonna have to guard one of these guys to where he's gonna have to move and play some defense. Yeah, y'all want to switch everything?
I ain't gonna put him on Jaylen Brown. That'll be.
Man, listen. He gonna have to play defense for the first time in the playoffs, and that's gonna mean something. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna be able to roam and hide on defense. He gonna have to work. So all these coming down and having energy for offense, it's a factor, Skip.
He just got a week off, and nobody alive right now playing basketball needed a week off more than Luka Dončić, and he's got it. And you're going to get it right between the eyes in the first 2 home games because in these 7 road wins that the Dallas Mavericks have had in the playoffs, he shot 43% from 3. And in the 5 straight road wins Dallas has on the road, 5 straight road wins, he shot 48% from 3 in those 5 games. You are in for it at home where you have had a really difficult time, as Keyshawn brought up, defending home court because you are now 17-14 over the last 3 years at home.
How about this year? Who has a better home record this year, Dallas or Boston?
Well, definitely Boston does because Dallas has struggled at home because Luka struggles at home.
That they have struggled at home. So if the Celtics find a way to win games 1 and no, it ain't no if. Listen.
You said if.
Okay, if Celtics win game 1 and 2. When the Celtics win
if again.
game 1 and 2, this series is over.
Yeah, when they win,
it's over.
If that were to happen,
if they win, and when they win game 1 and 2, which
is that what you're saying? Is that your prediction?
Yeah, this series is over.
Okay, well then you should go 5-5, right?
I mean, I got some respect. I mean,
are you saying Dallas?
I'm gonna see what game 1 look like. Then I'm gonna change. Then I'll tell you.
Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see.
Let me see what the matchup look like. Let me see if Porzingis is out there. Porzingis, the cheat code, is out there, and then we'll go from there. Because I was leaning toward 5, but just out of respect of the future Hall of Famers, Porzingis. Luka Dončić and Kyrie Irving, I think they can muster it up, too.
Muster it up?
Yeah, I muster up, too.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to go Dallas in 7, because I don't think you can beat Luka in a game 7 in your house. I just don't think you can.
No,
because he would love that. He would love that.
I think Luka would rather win on the road. He's a better player on the road.
Dallas will win one of the first 2 games, and then it'll just teeter along back and forth, all the way to a game 7 that you're going to lose at home.
You think so?
Yes, sir. I got it. I feel good about
You have a dinner on this?
Sure we do.
Okay. Yeah. And my favorite bottle of wine, Camus. We'll throw some Camus in there.
You can do whatever you want.
Since this is the
problem with Dallas.
And Keyshawn, from what I'm hearing from him, he's jumped on the duck boat.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on. I'm rooting for players. I'm not rooting for the team. I don't give a damn really if Boston wins or not. I want to see Tatum get the. I want to see Tatum get the monkey off his back. Jaylen Brown get the monkey off their back.
You're actually rooting against players such as Luka.
No, I'm rooting for. Tatum and Brown, especially Tatum, because of all the vitriol, the negative things that's been said about him over the last couple of weeks, dating all the way back to 2 years ago when they lost to Golden State. He has a second opportunity now. So I'm rooting for him, Paul, not for the Celtics. Just so that you know.
I mean, from what everybody talking about, it's not a monkey on his back, it's a gorilla. I mean, but it's all right. We're going to take that gorilla right off our back, and you can come on the duck boat with us. You and Skip can join us on the duck boat.
I wouldn't dare. I have no reason to be in Boston. There's nothing there for me. Zero. Sorry.
We'll get you some clam chowder, and we'll get you on that duck boat.
Okay, legal seafood. That's where you want to take
that's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to go. Listen, dog, look, how could you guys say...
How could you guys say what?
Listen, Skip, like, Dallas has no room for error. They don't have no room for error. We've been saying, Tatum's been great. He hasn't been all that great in the playoffs. Haven't you said this? Haven't we been hearing
But that would be...
But they only lost. That's a lie.
No,
that's what I'm saying. That's
been
the narrative,
though. The dude really can play, and he's been balling.
He's been balling
in the playoffs.
That's what
he lost to Golden State. That was a hiccup when they had the better team.
Just this year, the narrative he hasn't really played great. But when I look up, 30-12, Brown's been the best player. 30, but that's what I'm trying to tell you, that they don't have to be great to win. Like, they're so good that them two, only one of them has to be great, I feel like. And they can win games. Whereas on the other side with Dallas, I think they both have to be great. And all their wins, they both were great.
Okay.
Now, if Kyrie goes off and sometimes his game looks moody. Like, he decides, I'm just going to play defense and pass the first half. As we saw in those first few games in the last series and the series before, where he only took 4 or 5 shots and was only, before he got to Minnesota, before game 1, he was giving you 6 points in the first half. But that wasn't because he wasn't shooting. I mean, it was because he wasn't shooting. And that's like moody Kyrie, because we know when Kyrie comes out and be aggressive, what he's capable of doing. So which Kyrie is going to show up? Moody Kyrie, who says, I have to start off, get my teammates involved, play defense, because if that Kyrie shows up that only gave you 6 points in the first half a game, it's going to be a very short series.
Well, how about the Kyrie who showed up in the second quarter of the closeout?
Well, if you get game 1...
He scored 15 after Luka scored 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah, if you get
20 and 15, that'll work.
If you get game 1 versus Minnesota Kyrie, or game 7 Kyrie, then there's a chance.
Yeah, I really can't judge the Mavs based on a closeout game against the Celtics, though, Skip. Let's be fair.
Against the Timberwolves?
No, against the Celtics.
Oh,
I can't judge what the Mavs did in a closeout game against the Wolves up against the Celtics. I can't look at that and say, well, Kyrie did this.
Okay.
The Wolves basically, as we talked about on Friday, they packed it in. When Luka went for 20, they kind of just... They was happy to win the one on the road. I don't know that I could count on that, because even if Kyrie cooks and Luka cooks, Tatum and Brown gonna cook. They gonna start off to a fast start. They're not gonna try to stick their toe in the water to figure it out like Ant-Man did, and then when it's too late, try to use the energy to come back from behind. I just don't see that happening. If they cancel those two out by their play, how do you match up the other 3? That's the problem. Don't tell me Derek Lively is getting ready to all of a sudden go for 20. And I understand he's 15 or 15 or whatever that number is, on lobs, putbacks. I mean, it's not like he's facing people up and going one-on-one.
Yeah.
I mean,
So which front line is stronger right now? Seriously, which front line is stronger, more physical, more overwhelming, more imposing? It's Dallas's by far. Ever since this trade, they have taken off. Yeah, definitely more imposing.
You counting Porzingis out or in?
Well, you can have him because you guys scored in the NBA. Shots at the basket, you scored. You were 26th in the NBA because you don't have a lot of physical
They didn't need
presence.
to because they was knocking down threes.
Well, and by the way, that's a good point. You realize that you guys in the regular season shot 240 more threes than any other team?
Okay.
240?
Okay.
And you do live and die by it, and you're going to die by it a couple times in the series.
Porzingis opens up this offense because he takes advantage of the mismatch, and he's the best low-post player percentage-wise in the NBA. He makes you pay on those switches. And so when you say imposing, I have to go Celtics because a lot of Dallas's bigs rely on what Luka and Kyrie give them. If they get into the pick and roll and there's a lob there or a bounce pass there, that's how they score. It's not like they coming down there, getting the ball in the post, drop stepping and going up dunking on somebody.
I don't know. Daniel Gafford looked like a man to me in that series against that big, bad, three-headed monster of Minnesota.
That was a couple lobs.
It was a lob.
All he did was make every shot that he took. So did Derek
lobs. It was lobs.
Man.
Okay.
It was lob.
He wasn't at the elbow knocking stuff down and turn around.
So you love it that your team lives and dies from the three-point
I don't love it.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, but when you get Porzingis back, a guy who's a threat in the post, I think it does give us an opportunity to take advantage of mismatch, get to the line a little bit more. I think when the threes aren't falling, we have to find other ways, such as get to the free throw line and attack the rim.
You were low in free throw attempts this year.
Yeah, we low because we're not attacking. Like, you're right. I mean, we live and die by it. But Golden State showed you that a three-point team can win the championship. Golden State showed you that a three-point team can be a dynasty.
Boy, Dallas' two nuclear weapons look like they're a little more explosive than your nuclear weapons.
I mean, how much more? By how much more?
Enough to win Game 7.
No.
Yeah.
It's not going to get there.
I can tell.
It's
I
not
can hear
gonna
in
get
your
there.
voice you got a little bit of fear in your
I got
voice.
an extra seat on the duck boat for you, Skip.
Because I ain't getting on it, so you can have it.
Seat.
I'm not getting on the duck
And I got a
boat.
couple red cigars.
Really? Okay. I think there's going to be a parade in Dallas. It's been Dallas's year. I know they didn't get to the Stanley Cup, but still, it's been Dallas's year.
It's been Dallas a year and what?
I won two things, Skip.
Well, I'm not a y'all. I just...
You are y'all. What do you mean you're not a y'all?
What has Dallas won?
They won the Major League Baseball. Oh, they haven't won basketball yet.
No.
They just won
They
MLB.
won Major League Baseball.
Yeah, MLB, they won that.
This year?
Yeah, well, in a
That season's
12-month
not over.
calendar.
Oh,
12-month calendar.
The last time they had a full season.
Full season, 12-month calendar.
The Dallas what?
No, it's not the Dallas, Texas Rangers.
Oh, the Texas Rangers. Are they in Dallas?
No, they're in Arlington.
Oh, in Arlington.
They represent Dallas. You know it and I know it. Or maybe you don't know it.
Oh, in Arlington.
know it.
That don't sound like Dallas to me.
Arlington is actually halfway in between.
Well, Dallas, you know what's so funny? The Cowboys ain't in either. They not in Arlington or Dallas. They're in Frisco.
Well, that's not where they play their games, though.
They play their games in Arlington.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not Dallas.
Oh, wow, that's
Okay.
wild.
Well,
They practice in Frisco and play in Arlington.
Oh, that's wild.
yeah.
We got to start changing some of these names now.
Yeah, and there's this city called Nashville, and it's the home of Vanderbilt University. It's actually a pretty big, it's a pretty big city.
How did they come up with that name?
Paul hadn't discovered it yet, but it's on the map. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.